Chimayo, New Mexico's Don Usner uncovers some of the lowrider mystique.
It's just that love and that art and that like studying the car shape. You see everything, the hood, the way I did the designs, how they match up from the hood to the roof to the, you know, it's just like its own separate piece of art.
As time's gotten on, everybody's gotten way more technical. They're chroming, detailing, high-performance motors, rear ends. The rims have gotten real extravagant. They're engraved. It's just a lot of money now. Back then, it was a lot more simpler, and it was just put some rims and cruise.
What is a lowrider?
Well, a lowrider is a ride. It's a car that's been invested with a person's heart and soul and made into a piece of art that travels with him, that expresses much about his personal taste, talent, and beliefs. It's a car that's connected to everything who the lowrider is. So the lowrider is the car, the lowrider is the person, and they're very tightly connected.
What is that relationship between the car's expression and the lowrider person's expression?
It really grew out of a time, late 30s in Juarez, El Paso, when Mexican Americans particularly were being flatly rejected. And so out of this environment of not having an identity and a place, lowriders, which emerged out of that scene, saying, we can participate in American car culture, but we're going to do it our way. And at the time, the trend amongst sort of more middle class and Anglo people was to soup up the cars and make them drag racers. And this was almost direct contravention.
We're going to drive as slow as possible.
We're going to go slow and as low as possible.
Right.
And we're going to do it with style.
My first car was a '64 Impala Super Sport, and I bought it for $700 from a man down there in Wells Park in '76, and I still have that car today.
There's really a brotherhood that's grown up around this lowrider phenomenon, and it's all part of this simmering car culture. But the lowriders tend to be pretty tight with each other. They tend to be connected not only through the cars, but through their history in place and with the cultures. I was just interviewing a guy in Las Vegas. He kept repeating, this guy Mike Roybal, that he said it's like a big family. And we get together, we like to hang out, and one of the things he said was, we talk to each other, we spend time, he said, and it's not on Facebook, and it's not through the email. He said, we're actually with each other. And he said, that's just so good for us. In northern New Mexico, one of the trends that's been, most unique to the area has been the mural art. Beautifully rendered religious images that, again, tie into the, there's that powerful connection between faith and place in northern New Mexico.
Absolutely.
Comes out in the cars. Some of the artists who were doing that really developed it to an exquisite degree that made northern New Mexico really stand out, I think, for that style. One of the garages I visited belongs to Ray and Epi Martinez, and on the wall there's a big mural of the Santuario, the church up in Chimayo, with two lowriders parked in front of it. I said, what's this mural about? He said, hey, that's part of who we are. How could it be otherwise? We're in the Holy Land. So that connection of this notion of a real sense amongst these lowrider artists that their place is unique and special and is linked to this spiritual tradition. And they make a cruise there to the Santuario in their lowriders every spring.
There's so many stories about my car that that's why a lot of people don't understand that when they see these cars where I'm from, and why don't they sell them? Or they're always saying something. It's just that there's no value for the sentimental value, and that's why they're still there. Well, you just go down our street; they're still outside there, and you can't miss it.
I've just been around cars forever. My dad's been a mechanic forever. He's opened up a shop in 1976, and then in the late 90s, I took over that business, and I've been there ever since. So I've just, I've been into cars for years. I mean, that's all we do, cars, and just support our kids in school, whatever they need, and that's about all we do here.
What allows lowrider culture to really persist?
I think it's because, just as all these lowriders have been telling me, it's a lifestyle. The meticulous care that they put into building the lowriders is really remarkable. It's an aesthetic venture. It's an expression. It's an artistic expression that carries a lot of love and a lot of passion. The cars change, but the essential element of it stays the same, which is this is part of who we are, and that is being passed along, and the cars are just an expression of that.